thinking, why am I jealous? Why doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know him. But I remember seeing a picture of him coming home from the movies with Joey, with my sister.
It's one of the most famous mysteries in music history. For more than 50 years, fans have obsessed over a single burning question. Who was Carly Simon really singing about in You're So Vain? Was it the Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger, her former husband James Taylor, or the Hollywood heartthrob Warren Beatty? What Simon finally revealed stunned the world, and what she kept hidden only made the mystery bigger. At 78, she has spoken openly, peeling back layers of secrecy. But is the truth what we expected, or something entirely different? Carly Simon was already carving out a unique space in music before You're So Vain turned her into a legend. Born into a wealthy and cultured New York family, she had the kind of background that could have led her anywhere, but it was music that captured her soul. In the late 1960s and early 70s, Simon's voice stood out in the crowded singer-songwriter scene. Her 1971 self-titled debut album included That's the Way I've Always Heard It Should Be, a haunting ballad that climbed into the top 10. By the following year, she had won the Grammy Award for Best New Artist, cementing her reputation as a fresh voice with both lyrical depth and commercial appeal. But it wasn't just her voice that caught attention. Simon's personal life, her beauty, her high-profile relationships, and her openness made her irresistible to the media. She married James Taylor in 1972, creating a folk rock power couple that fans couldn't stop talking about. It was in this whirlwind of fame, love, and creative ambition that Simon wrote You're So Vain. Released on her 1972 album No Secrets, the song instantly captured the public imagination. Its mix of biting sarcasm and emotional rawness was unlike anything else on the radio, and it left one tantalizing question hanging in the air. Who was the vain man at the heart of the song? When You're So Vain hit the airwaves in late 1972, it didn't just become a hit, it became a cultural event. The track soared to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in January 1973, staying there for 3 weeks. Its unforgettable chorus, You're so vain, you probably think this song is about you, was sung by millions. But everyone wanted to know the same thing. About who? The mystery only deepened when fans realized Mick Jagger had sung backing vocals on the track. Was that a sly clue? Simon, known for her sharp wit, refused to confirm or deny. In fact, she leaned into the intrigue, saying little and letting the public speculate. Over the years, the guessing game became legendary. Names floated in the press included Chris Christopherson, David Bowie, David Cassidy, Cat Stevens, and even her own husband James Taylor. But it was Warren Beatty, Hollywood's most notorious ladies' man, who seemed to fit the part best. And Beatty himself didn't exactly discourage the rumors. Years later, he even said, half joking, that he was sure the song was about him. But the truth, as Simon would eventually reveal, was far more complicated and far more shocking. To understand why You're So Vain created such a firestorm, you first have to understand Carly Simon herself. By the early 1970s, she wasn't just another singer-songwriter. She embodied a new kind of female voice in pop music. Sharp, witty, confessional, and unafraid to speak about love and betrayal with brutal honesty. Her marriage to James Taylor in 1972 made her personal life a topic of constant fascination. Taylor, already beloved for his gentle folk ballads, represented sensitivity and sincerity, while Simon brought glamour and intelligence. Together they became darlings of the press, photographed at parties and written about in gossip columns. But behind the camera flashes, Simon was navigating a world filled with powerful men, actors, musicians, and producers, many of whom were captivated by her beauty and talent. It was in this environment that Simon observed the behavior of men who seemed charming in public, but often selfish and egotistical in private. That contrast between public image and personal arrogance became the spark that inspired You're So Vain. Simon has said over the years that the song wasn't about a single person. Instead, it was a composite, each verse aimed at a different man. That decision only fueled the mystery further. In one interview, she admitted, the second verse is about Warren Beatty because he always thought it was about him. The line became one of the most quoted moments in pop history, confirming Beatty's suspicions, but leaving the other verses shrouded in secrecy. For Simon, that balance between revelation and mystery was what gave the song its power. She gave just enough truth to keep people hooked, while ensuring the debate would never truly end. The turning point came when Carly Simon finally decided to end part of the speculation. For decades, she had remained coy, dropping hints in interviews but never naming names. Then, in 2015, she confirmed publicly that the second verse of You're So Vain was indeed about Warren Beatty. The confession hit like a bombshell. For years, Beatty himself had joked that the song was his. In one famous interview, he quipped, "Let's be honest, the whole song is about me." Simon's revelation didn't quite go that far, but it validated what many had long suspected. Beatty's legendary vanity had inspired one of pop music's greatest put-downs. But Simon didn't stop there. She explained that the other verses referred to other men from her past, though she refused to say exactly who. That decision reignited the speculation, turning what could have been the end of the mystery into a fresh wave of headlines. Names like David Geffen, Chris Christopherson, and Cat Stevens were once again thrown into the mix. What made the revelation so powerful was not just that Simon had confirmed Beatty's role, but that she reminded the world the song was never just about one man. It was a broader statement about ego, power, and how men in her life had underestimated her. And in doing so, she transformed a personal grievance into one of the most iconic cultural mysteries of all time. After Carly Simon's partial revelation, the frenzy didn't calm down. It exploded again. The press treated the story like an unsolved crime, dissecting every lyric for clues. Music journalists and biographers scoured Simon's past relationships, trying to match each cryptic line to a real man. Take the first verse, with its reference to someone arriving at a party with an apricot scarf. Fans speculated it could have been David Bowie, known for his flamboyant style, or even Cat Stevens, whose romance with Simon in the early 1970s had been well documented. The third verse, with its imagery of yachts and international travel, was tied by some to record executive David Geffen. Simon never confirmed, and that silence kept the guessing game alive. The intrigue even reached academia. Scholars wrote essays on the song's cultural impact, analyzing how Simon had flipped the script by using wit and mockery against men who traditionally held more power. In a music world dominated by male voices, Simon's sharp takedown of male vanity was revolutionary. Meanwhile, Warren Beatty's reaction only added fuel to the fire. His offhand remarks about the song, half serious, half prideful, gave the story fresh headlines for decades. Each time he spoke, speculation roared back to life. By the 1990s and 2000s, You're So Vain had transcended being just a hit single. It was now a pop culture riddle, passed down to new generations who debated the question with the same passion as their parents. What began as a breakup song had become a never-ending saga. The effect on Carly Simon's career was profound. You're So Vain became her signature song, defining her in the eyes of millions. For some, it was a blessing. The track gave her a #1 hit and a place in music history. But it was also a burden. For decades, nearly every interview she gave included the same question: who is the song about? Simon handled the attention with grace, often joking about the obsession. Yet, in candid moments, she admitted the speculation could overshadow her other work. With a career that included beloved songs like Anticipation, Nobody Does It Better, and Coming Around Again, Simon often reminded interviewers that her artistry extended far beyond a single mystery. Still, the public fascination never faded. When Simon finally confirmed Beatty's role, it wasn't just music fans who reacted. It was Hollywood too. Beatty's reputation as a ladies' man became forever linked to Simon's words, turning the song into a permanent chapter in his story as much as hers. For Simon, the reaction underscored the power of her songwriting. She had written about personal experiences, but the world turned it into something much larger. It became a commentary on ego, relationships, and the blurred line between personal pain and public art. Thanks for watching. Click here to check another video and make sure to subscribe to our channel.